It is week 1 of the NFL, and we give you our 3 best bets for Sunday, as well as let you know how you could take home $1,000 absolutely free in our NFL betting contest, and it all starts right now. Hey guys, it's Matt from GrandstandBettors.com, and we are stoked. The NFL season is getting underway in full on Sunday. We're coming off a nice Thursday night football winner on opening night, and today we give you our 3 best bets for NFL week number 1. Also, don't forget about our Grandstand Bettors NFL betting contest. It's over at GrandstandBettors.com. And there you have the opportunity to sign up absolutely free with a chance to win $1,000 grand prize to put in your pocket this NFL season. Now, we'll get to that in just a bit, but if you're new to Grandstand Bettors, go ahead, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our weekly NFL picks all season long. And while you're at it, smash that like button. The NFL season is back. It is the best time of year, and we look forward to giving you all of our NFL picks all season long. But without further ado, let's dive into our 3 best bets of week number 1 in the NFL. And we're going to start with the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos game. This kickoff is at 4:25 Eastern in MetLife Stadium with the over-under set at 41.5. and the spread at -3 going to the Broncos. Now, both of these two teams are looking to have a bounce back year after putting up losing records in 2020. They are evenly matched, so this actually should probably be a pretty good game. The Giants finally getting Saquon Barkley back. It's going to be a huge boost to their offense, as well as now they've added Kenny Golladay from the Detroit Lions at wide receiver. Daniel Jones had another average season last year, but he's got a solid wide receiver core and 2 solid tight ends in Evan Ingram and now Kyle Rudolph, who they picked up from the Vikings. As long as Saquon stays healthy, this offense should be well more balanced and relieve a lot of pressure from Jones, which, let's be honest, last season seemed to build up on him as the offense became centered around passing when Barkley was out with that injury. Now, their defense was solid last season. They gave up the 9th fewest points in the league. We don't see that level of play going anywhere this season. They also have a great secondary and a very good front 7, which ranked 10th in yards given up in the run. This is a very favorable matchup against them, as the Broncos offense really struggled to produce last year. But they do have a new quarterback in Bridgewater, but they haven't figured things out quite yet at running back with Melvin Gordon and rookie Javonte Williams. Their wide receiver group is very young, but we like the Giants' defense in this one to do a good job of containing Bridgewater and that Broncos offense. Now, Bridgewater, in our opinion, is a major upgrade considering the players they've gone through at that position since Peyton Manning was retired. Now, in the 6 seasons in the league, though, Bridgewater has only thrown 53 touchdowns and 36 interceptions. That's not very good. He's got good weapons, though. Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Melvin Gordon. He just needs to put the pieces together. What we want to focus on, though, for this game is the slow start Bridgewater's done in his first game with new teams since joining the league. In 2020 with the Panthers, they lost to the Raiders 34-30 when it was his first game with the Panthers. 2019, first game with the Saints. Lost 27-9 when Breeze was out to the Rams. In 2014 and 15 with the Vikings and the 49ers, he lost both those games as well. So historically, he's really struggled in his debuts with teams in week 1. And we actually see a similar trend going on here as well. The Broncos defense, though, is very solid. They gave up not many points last year. Daniel Jones gained more confidence last year with Saquon coming back. He should be able to probably pierce through that Broncos defense now that he has a much better wide receiver group and better tight ends. So we see the Giants actually outplaying the Broncos defense in this one, forcing Bridgewater and that offense of the Broncos to have to keep up. The spread right now sitting solidly at 3. We like the Giants to cover that 3. Should be a close game as their defenses are very similar and they both have not really experienced quarterbacks. I will say, though, I do think that Jones is the better quarterback, even though Bridgewater is a little more experienced. So there's going to be mistakes on both sides of the field. We think it'll even out. But with home field advantage, and a much better running back, we could see the Giants winning the season opener or maybe just losing on a last-minute field goal by maybe 1 or 2 points. So our first bet of NFL week number 1, take the Giants +3. Our second bet, we're looking at what everybody's going to be tuned in to watch, and that is Sam Darnold. Yeah, we said that. Carolina Panthers, New York Jets, kickoffs at 1 o'clock in Carolina. Over-under set at 44.5, and the spread is actually at -4. A lot of people buying on the Jets right now. Although neither of these teams were good last season, it's going to be an interesting game to watch because of Sam Darnold's grudge match against the Jets and Zach Wilson's debut in the NFL. Now, Sam Darnold has shown signs that he's a solid quarterback, but he has not been around good players. Sam Darnold has arm strength and mobility, but he's never really had an offensive line. But in Carolina, he has those things, and we think that he's going to surprise a lot of people this season. Their offensive line is solid, and they have very good players in McCaffrey, Moore, Robbie Anderson, that are all playmakers that Darnold can utilize. Now, the Panthers were without McCaffrey most of last season, so I'm sure they're ecstatic to have this guy back. He put up huge numbers in 2019. Now, although the Jets did some work on their defense, most of their offseason moves were actually offensive. Their front seven, they're not bad. They gave up 112 rushing yards per game last year, but we think McCaffrey is going to exploit that Jets run defense, and he's going to probably have a really great game. Looking at the Panthers' defense real quick, they're basically the definition of an average defense in every category last year. However, they did pick up some big names in free agency that's going to help them out. Reddick from the Cardinals, Daquan Jones from the Titans, Denzel Perryman from the Chargers, and Morgan Fox from the Rams. They also drafted J.C. Jones, who's going to help their secondary out right away. Although it could have been worse, it's not going to be an easy task for Zach Wilson in his NFL debut, especially playing on the road. A lot of pressure rides on Wilson's shoulders as the Jets passed on Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and Mac Jones in the draft. In his first NFL game coming out of BYU, we expect there to be 1 or 2 or a lot of mistakes that are going to favor the Panthers in this one. Now, on the other side of the ball, the Jets' defense showed flashes last year of how good they can be when they kept the Browns, Rams, and Bills all to under 20 points. But let's be honest, that production was few and far between. They still need a lot of work, especially in their secondary. And with Sam Darnold throwing the ball for the opposing team, having that grudge on his shoulder, this game might get ugly for the Jets. Especially when you consider that they're going to have to keep 7, 8 guys in the box at all times with the fear of McCaffrey beating them on the ground and through the air. We see the Panthers getting on a roll, putting up a lot of points against a Jets defense that's kind of still rebuilding. In addition, the Jets have a rookie quarterback in his debut. Panthers defense has a lot of potential this season after an average one last year, and we actually see the Panthers winning this by a touchdown, if not double digits. I know a lot of money's coming in on the Jets right now, but Sam Darnold's tenure as quarterback in Carolina is going to get off to a good start. So our best bet, number 2 for NFL week number 1, is the Carolina Panthers -4. Now, we have one more pick for the NFL Week 1, but just a reminder, you could win $1,000 from us here at Grandstand Bettors. All you have to do is sign up for our free NFL betting contest at grandstandbettors.com. The link's below in the description. Click on it, sign up for free, and then immediately you'll be able to pick your 5 picks for week number 1. The grand prize is $1,000. We're giving away $1,000. Name another YouTube channel that's giving that money away. Nobody. So go sign over to Grandstand Bettors. Sign up, actually, and then pick your best 5 bets for week 1 and give yourself the opportunity to win $1,000 this NFL season. Now, our last best bet, we're going to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Buffalo Bills matchup. It is in Buffalo. It's a 110 matchup. The Bills are favored by 6.5, and the over-under is 48.5. Steelers coming off a 12-4 season that ended in just shambles. They lost to the Browns in Week 17, and then they got manhandled again by the Browns in the first round of the playoffs. Roethlisberger, though, had a decent year considering that every team in the league knew he was going to throw the ball without the Steelers having any type of running game. He had 3,800 yards, 33 TDs, and only 10 interceptions. As we alluded to, the Steelers only averaged 3.6 yards a carry last year, but they potentially actually took care of that problem when they drafted Najee Harris. Now, with a great receiving core around Roethlisberger, The key to the success of the game will be whether or not they can run against the Bills. Because if they can establish that running game with Najee Harris, they might be able to open play action up and throw down the field quite a bit against that Bills secondary. Speaking of the Bills, they're coming off a defeat to the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and they're definitely hungry for more this season as they went 13-3 last year. The bright spot last year was really Stefon Diggs, who really paid off for the offense. He had over 1,500 yards and over 125 receptions. This season will come down to whether or not Josh Allen has hit his ceiling or if he can still improve on his game. Let's be honest though, he ran and threw for about 5,000 yards last season. So you think there's going to probably be a little bit of regression, but in all honesty, it's probably not going to be this week against the Steelers. Now the weather for this game, it's not ideal with scattered thunderstorms in the forecast and a little bit of wind. However, the wind gusts are mostly higher in the morning, dying down in the early afternoon. These two teams are both not great at running the football, and both defenses play very well against the run. So we can see Big Ben and Allen throwing the ball at least 35 times apiece here. A lot of people think Big Ben is too old and has lost his ability to lead the offense down the field, but this guy's a veteran, and he's got a young wide receiver core and a chance at a little bit of a running game now with Harris behind him. So we think the Steelers are going to be able to put up some points against this decent Bills defense. Allen, as we mentioned, may regress this season, but again, not this week against the Steelers D, which was nothing like the Steelers D decades ago. Now look for Allen to throw for over 275, have 3 touchdowns, and this is going to be a close game. Now, we like the over 48.5 here, but we really think we're going to have to probably sweat this one out. With the possibility of moderate wins and kickers maybe missing field goals, extra points, there's a good chance here that both of the teams are going to go for it on 4th down, which could lead maybe to more TDs, but not without that risk of not being able to execute. One thing, though, Big Ben has done a lot in his career is converting 4th down opportunities and 2-point conversions. So look for this game to be a little bit like the Cowboys-Bucs, where both QBs were slinging the ball around. So our final bet of NFL Week number 1, Steelers versus Bills, over 48.5. That's it, guys, for Grandstand Bettors. Remember, join our NFL betting contest at grandstandbettors.com. Make sure you tune into our channel tomorrow as we have the Kansas City Chiefs Cleveland Browns live stream at 4:25 Eastern, and we'll also be watching a little bit of the NFL Red Zone. So we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Put your best bets down below. Let us know what you're betting on this week. And as always, sit back, relax, enjoy Week 1 of the NFL, and we'll see you next week.